Welcome back, everybody, to the 2018 Portland Pokemon Video Game Regional Championships. My name is Dewey Hod. Joining me at the desk right now is Len Duel, and we have an exciting battle coming up between Alberto Lara and Gavin Michaels, two titans of Southern California Pokemon.
Yeah, this is an incredible match to see in round two.
Yeah, I know, and that pretty much means that one player is going to be dropping to 1-1, but, you can't count them out just yet, right?
Yeah, I mean, neither of these players frequently start 1-1. That's not going to be something they're happy with, but they're definitely players of the caliber to pull that back and still go X-1 to make this top cut.
Yeah, Alberto, of course, is coming off a very strong season. Gavin hasn't done that much in the season, but last year he was able to win 2 regional championships. He'd like to add another one to his belt. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into team preview right here between Alberto and Gavin. It looks like Alberto is going to be running Gengar, Landorus, Therian, Raichu, Tapu Fini, Cresselia, Incineroar. Gavin on the other side running Metagross, Landorus, Therian, Tyranitar, Amoonguss, Heat Rotom, and Tapu Lele. So Heat Rotom, a Pokemon that we haven't seen too often, in a long time.
Yeah, Gavin's team mostly looking fairly standard. That Metagross, Tyranitar, Amoonguss core supported by Tapu Lele, but like you said, Heat Rotom, something a little bit different. Just provides that overheat from an electric type, levitating. And then we see some we haven't seen so much on Alberto's side, which is that Mega Gengar going to have Shadow Tag, be locking things in, and paired with 2 Fake Out users. Likely that Fake Out Encore supporting Raichu, and then the new force in the metagame, that Intimidate, Fake Out, Incineroar.
Yeah, and Gengar is a Pokemon that actually can somewhat deal with that Metagross over on Gavin's side. Of course, Mega Metagross is, well, probably one of the most popular Mega Pokemon in this format because it's just such a strong Pokemon. Tough Claws boosted, same type attack boosted attacks, as well as good typing, and it's really fast. But that Gengar can actually threaten that with a very powerful Shadow Ball and outspeed that Mega Metagross if it Mega Evolves.
Yeah, Tyranitar is terrible for Gengar, though. Makes it really hard for Gengar to come in, doesn't do much damage to it, and just really happy to have it locked in with Shadow Tag. So it's going to be something for Alberto to watch out for.
And now it looks like both players are ready to send out their Pokemon. Gavin going to be leading with Landorus and Tyranitar. Going to go ahead and whip up that Sandstorm. Going to try to chip away at Pokemon and also give Tyranitar that really nice special defense boost, as Incineroar is going to go ahead and hit the field, and Gengar as well. So like you said, Len, that Tyranitar is going to be nightmarish for Gengar, but, well, the Intimidates are going to come out. Landorus is going to go ahead and intimidate the Alberto side, as Incineroar's Intimidate is also going to go ahead and activate as well. But key thing to note right there, that Tyranitar was actually, I believe, faster than that Incineroar.
It was, yeah. So we could probably expect that means a more offensive Tyranitar, maybe has Dragon Dance, maybe even Tyranitar It could become Mega Tyranitar. Gengar's in a terrible spot here. Gonna just want out of here. Landorus, something can at least sort of hit, but has to be worried about Earthquakes and knockoffs, and then of course Tyranitar is so terrible for it. So maybe we'll see Incineroar Fake Out to kind of cover Gengar getting off the field, but this is not the kind of position you want to lead into with Gengar.
Landorus is going to go ahead and switch out. Amoonguss is going to come in, going to provide, really strong synergy with that Tyranitar to allow it to Dragon Dance if it does have access to it. But Gengar is going to stay in and Mega Evolve. Of course, one thing that Gengar kind of misses from the previous generation is Levitate. It would have been, having a decent matchup against that Landorus. Therian, Tyranitar is going to go ahead and follow suit as well and Mega Evolve here. So it looks like Tyranitar is going to stay in. This is actually a decent opportunity for it to possibly go for a Dragon Dance, but it's, of course, Incineroar using Fake Out, going to land into that Tyranitar, preventing any sort of setup here, as Gengar is going to reveal a nice tech move here, an Icy Wind, really trying to slow things down over on Gavin's side here, as the speeds are going to jump. That does a lot of damage on that Amoonguss right there.
Yeah, from Mega Gengar's giant special attack, even that low base power, more supportive Icy Wind can still pick up a nice chunk of damage against Amoonguss. Tyranitar slows down here, so that first Dragon Dance will just mitigate the loss from Icy Wind, but it's still totally healthy. Has to worry about what Incineroar can do. We saw that Tyranitar was faster on the first turn, but now after that Icy Wind, Incineroar may be faster and may have something like Low Kick to just KO this Tyranitar, even after the Intimidate. I think that's probably still a KO, depending on how this Incineroar is trained. So something for Gavin to watch out for sure. Of course, you can just Rage Powder away that Low Kick and then be totally safe with your Tyranitar.
Yeah, and, Tyranitar, if it does go for Dragon Dance, that will just really mitigate the Intimidate and that Icy Wind. So strong support here from Alberto coming from that Incineroar and that Gengar with that Icy Wind. You also have to watch out. Amoonguss is also threatened by that Incineroar from a Flare Blitz here. Gengar is going to switch out. No more, now Gavin's going to be free to switch if he wants to, as Tapu Fini is going to go ahead and hit the field. Going to try to prevent any Spore shenanigans from happening with that Tapu Fini here, as Amoonguss goes for a Rage Powder. Going to try to draw away a low kick, but did Alberto go for a Flare Blitz instead, just to try to pick up the KO? Crunch lands into that Tapu Fini slot, so a smart switch right there from Alberto as well. Not very effective damage, as Incineroar using knockoff. Going to land in that Amoonguss and reveal the item. It is going to be a Citrus Berry, so that's a big knockoff right there, because Amoonguss was about to heal up 25% right there.
Yeah, it's a great chunk of damage from knockoff, especially when you include that extra 30% for getting rid of the Citrus Berry, and then no recoil back to Incineroar. It's really interesting. We did see Tyranitar still move before Incineroar there, even after the Icy Wind. That speed gain from Mega Evolving means that Tyranitar is still faster than Incineroar. I expect that means Tapu Fini is going to be the fastest thing on the field on the next turn, but Tyranitar could get a Rock Slide off if it wanted to.
Yep, and Tapu Lele now going to switch in, going to change the terrain and allow Amoonguss to start going for that Spore support that it really wants to try to put things to sleep here. Tapu Fini using Muddy Water. Amoonguss dodges the attack, so no accuracy drop possible to try to help that Spore become less accurate. It is going to hit that Tapu Lele, though, doing about 25%. Does get the accuracy drop there, and now Incineroar using Flare Blitz. It is going to go ahead and target down that Amoonguss, and the Intimidate from before is not enough to prevent that KO, so big knockout right there on Gavin's side. Key knockout for that Alberto to pick up because of the fact that now there's no redirection from Gavin.
Yeah, no redirection. You get rid of that Amoonguss without ever letting it get any regenerator health back. Just the knock off the Icy Wind and the Flare Blitz gets rid of Amoonguss. I think that's a really clean pickup for Alberto. Hasn't really given up much damage on his side of the field yet.
And Tyranitar is going to hit the field again. This is going to be a great position for Gavin, though, because Tapu Lele can damage that Tapu Fini very much with a powerful boosted Psychic type attack, and Tyranitar can follow up with a powerful Rock Slide that's not intimidated.
Yeah, not intimidated, and from that full speed of that Tyranitar, maybe faster. And Tapu Fini going to definitely be faster than Incineroar.
Yeah, you just have to watch out for a possible low kick into that Tyranitar slot if Incineroar survives. I'm actually used to calling it Intimiroar now. Gengar is going to go ahead and switch back in, going to trap Tapu Lele and Tyranitar, as well as Incineroar switching out, going to switch into Landorus and get another important Intimidate off on that Tyranitar here. Trying to mitigate the amount of damage that I can possibly do, as Tyranitar using its turn to set up using Dragon Dance. It's going to go ahead and get a nice speed boost and negate that Intimidate drop.
Yeah, get back to its normal attack stat and getting faster by the second. Tyranitar is definitely something that Alberto needs to watch out for. And
the Shattered Psyche does come out, boosted by that Psychic Terrain. That could possibly be the KO on that Gengar, or massive amounts of damage on that Landorus, depending on what kind of set it's running here. Might even straight up pick up the KO.
I think it'll be the KO either spot it lands on, but it may easily be the KO against Gengar.
That is going to be breaking Gengar Psyche and getting the big knockout right there. So now there's no more trapping. And, now Tapu Lele can switch out to try to get back into its preferred terrain. But it's not... you kind of want that terrain up just so that you can continue to get off those boosted sidekicks, not necessarily so much to be able to spore things anymore.
Yeah, I mean, no, Amoonguss is gone, no option to spore things, but makes such a big difference to how much that psychic damage does. Gengar going down here could have been really useful against Tapu Lele, would have been faster and easily picked up the KO, but not useful at all against Tyranitar, so maybe not the biggest loss for Alberto's side, even though it was his Mega. Tapu Fini and Landorus are going to be more important pieces for getting that Tyranitar off the field. Tyranitar
is going to be able to outspeed Landorus after that Dragon Dance. Going to go for a Rock Slide here, bringing Tapu Fini to a little under 50%, as it looks like it's going to be a Ground DMZ from this Landorus here. Going to go for that Tectonic Rage and get that KO on that Tyranitar. So big knockout coming up right here to remove a threat. You remove the Mega Pokemon, you also remove a Pokemon that has one speed boost under its belt here, as Landorus sends Tyranitar down to the middle and the core of the earth.
Yeah, this is a great pickup. You're happy to trade Gengar for Tyranitar at this point in the game. Over 2 turns, that's exactly what happens, and this is looking pretty good for Alberto, I think. And now it's going to come down to Gavin's last 2 Pokemon. The Landorus is still in the back as Tapu Lele uses Moonblast. Tapu Fini barely hangs on, heals right back up with its berry. So, wow, that is a huge survival right there with the Mago Berry, as Tapu Fini using Muddy Water now. It's going to go ahead and be single target, going to be a full-powered Muddy Water, landing in this Tapu Lele, bringing it down to about 30% as the Sandstorm actually subsides. So, no more chip damage around the board here, and we know that the Tapu Lele doesn't have a berry because it's already revealed its Shattered Psyche, as Landorus is going to hit the field. Going to use its Intimidate ability again onto the Landorus over on Alberto's side, so that's going to be pretty big, but of course, you're really just mitigating the amount of chip damage that Rock Slide can do. Yeah, that Tapu Fini hanging on from Moonblast is so massive, getting all that health back, and you really can't afford to let another Muddy Water come out because it would be both the KO on Tapu Lele and huge damage on this Landers.
Tapu Fini using Protect here and going to try to scout out to see what Gavin is going to do as Landers over on Gavin's side. Using Rock Slide, it is going to be faster than the Landers over on Alberto's side this turn. Still could be a possible speed tie, or maybe that indicates that Alberto's is just straight up slower. And here comes the Earthquake into that Tapu Lele, gets the KO easily from that spot. So Alberto really just trying to pinpoint his positioning right here to try to get him in the best situation as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think now Tapu Fini, unless it gets flinched a whole lot, should get a couple chances to get Muddy Waters off. You still have Incineroar in the back to provide fake out support. If it's something like a Choice Scarf Landers, that fake out means another Muddy Water lands. You can intimidate it more. This should be comfortably in Alberto's hands. Not flinching the last turn was really crucial, though.
Incineroar is going to come right back in. Intimidate is going to go ahead and land over on to the Landers Therian on Gavin's side here, as well as preserving. Ooh, Incineroar actually avoids that Rock Slide as Tapu Fini takes just a little bit of chip damage, but importantly, Landers Therian can easily come right back in as well. As Tapu Fini connects with the Muddy Water here, it is going to be a full-powered Muddy Water single target, doing so much damage that Landers probably revealing that it does not have a Assault Vest because it just did so much.
Yeah, probably a Choice Scarf. Not totally clear yet, but this fake out just comfortably landing, I think, indicates it.
Yep, and that makes Landers flinch, and Tapu Fini using Muddy Water. Landers does dodge the attack right there. Trying not to reveal any other attacks from that Tapu Fini. You know, you're also, you're just trying to hide what else Tapu Fini knows for game 2. So Landers comes back in, going to use its Intimidate ability yet again. Now this Landers Therian over on Gavin's side is just, well, it's not going to do any damage at all with this Rock Slide. Thanks to those 2 Intimidates, Tapu Fini not taking anything, Landers not taking anything, and Tapu Fini using Muddy Water again. That is going to connect, and that is the KO. And Alberto Lara takes game 1 here in round 2 of the Portland Regional Championships.
Yeah, I think it was really well played. He, identified Amoonguss as a big target, got rid of it over the course of a couple turns, then identified Tyranitar, used the Z move to get rid of it, and then it was kind of all in hand for Alberto. I think Gavin's going to need to protect both of those Pokemon better in the next game. Alberto did just give up Gengar pretty easily, switched it into a Shattered Psyche from Tapu Lele in Psychic Terrain. That's massive damage coming out. But with Mega Tyranitar on the other side of the field, I don't think Mega Gengar was going to ever be that big of an impact. Its impact is if it's Mega Metagross that Gavin brings. As soon as you see that Tyranitar Gengar is immediately less valuable. But it's still important to bring it. Team Preview try to get something out of it. That Icy Wind, I think, was really useful on the first turn, and still was a big target for Gavin throughout the game.
I mean, it did a lot of damage to that Amoonguss, even though it was spread damage not boosted by same type attack bonus. So, the Gengar is still there. It kind of just Icy Winded and then got KO'd. You do have that, that mind game where you can kind of trap Pokemon with that Shadow Tag. You kind of mitigate the amount of switching that can possibly happen as well. So
it's going to be interesting to see if Gavin can answer Tapu Fini better. Rotom Heat is a way to do that. You have those big Thunderbolts, but with Rotom Heat, you're now weak to Muddy Water. It's not as clear of an answer to Tapu Fini as most electric types are.
Rotom Heat, I actually don't really quite understand that choice. Obviously Gavin knows his team a lot better. It does help with a Mega Metagross matchup a lot better as well. Looking at Gavin's team, it is kind of weak if you don't have your Mega Metagross.
Yeah, I mean, of the 5 moves that Mega Metagross often has, none of them are going to hit Rotom Heat very hard, and of course Overheat should one-hit KO.
The only one is
Zen
Headbutt, yeah. But of course you can also threaten it with a possible Will-O-Wisp as well. It looks like now both players jumping into game 2. Gengar and Landers are the leads of choice for Alberto, as Gavin leads with Tapu Lele and Tyranitar. So that Tyranitar is actually going to be outspeeding the Tapu Lele on Gavin's side as well. So that is a very speedy Tyranitar.
Yeah, really looking to take advantage of those Dragon Dance speed boosts and be faster than a lot of things just after one boost. I think, again, Gengar leads in a really dangerous spot here. I'd love to land a Sludge Bomb on Tapu Lele. Taking a Crunch back from Tyranitar isn't a great exchange, or just hitting into Protect and allowing Tyranitar to Dragon Dance, but of course Tectonic Rage is going to force T-Tar out here.
Yep, Tyranitar switches out. Amoonguss comes right back in. Going to try to draw away, a possible Tectonic Rage. Amoonguss might be able to survive that, as Gengar is going to go ahead and Mega Evolve here. Going to go ahead and take that Shadow Attack ability and trap Tapu Lele and Amoonguss. Tapu Lele not going to want to take a Sludge Bomb or even a Shadow Ball. for that. Gengar using Icy Wind here, going to try to slow things down just a little bit. So great call right there from Alberto to not go so hard on trying to take down that Tapu Lele, but instead try to slow things down just a little bit. And again, that is like chip damage on that Amoonguss, but it is good chip damage as Landorus using the turn to go for a Swords Dance here.
Yeah, I think that Icy Wind was a really great play. You know, if you end up giving up the Dragon Dance to T-Tar, you've mitigated that speed gain. If it's Landorus that comes in looking to take a Tectonic Rage, you've hit it for massive damage and dropped its speed. And instead Amoonguss comes in and you still get really useful damage off. So the Icy Wind was a great way to cover all of Alberto's bases there, while then picking up the Swords Dance with Landorus. That is so much damage being threatened now. Really, really dangerous position for Gavin with both of these Pokemon Shadow Tag locked in. It's easy Protect Earthquake.
Gengar using Protect here, not going to want to take anything at all. Amoonguss going for a Rage Power, and this was really just Alberto trying to position himself to be able to KO that Lele with that Gengar later on. Landorus using Earthquake. That is also one reason why that Gengar protected. Swords Dance Earthquake is nothing to scoff at. That's going to do a lot of damage over on Gavin's side. That gets the double KO right there. Big damage from that.
Critical hit on Tapu Lele may very well have mattered. You know, you get that power reduction from the spread move Earthquake, even at +2, may not have KO'd Tapu Lele without it, but instead gets it, denies that Shattered Psyche from coming out, and picks up 2 huge KOs.
Yeah, and Tyranitar is going to come back in, but it's going to be heavily threatened, and there's absolutely no redirection right there from Gavin to be able to Rage Power away that Tectonic Rage either.
And even if Intimidate comes out for Gavin, you're just taking this Landorus to +1 attack. That +1 attack Tectonic Rage is going to do a massive amount of damage to Tyranitar, even through Protect.
Yeah, Landorus has such a sky-high attack stat that its damage output is ridiculous, and that's why a lot of people can invest in its bulk already. The Intimidate does drop onto the land standard, but like you said, it is currently at +1, and Alberto's in such a good position right here. Just go for an Icy Wind and just Tectonic Rage that Tyranitar.
Yeah, you know that Icy Wind is coming out. That means Tyranitar really can't get speed boosts from anywhere, even if it managed to get a flinch from the other Landorus with Rock Slide, and Landorus is under threat a bunch itself.
And it looks like it is going to Tyranitar is going to Mega Evolve here, going to try to get that speed boost and, you know, a little bit more stats in each category pretty much, as Landorus going for a Rock Slide here. Gavin fishing for a lot of flinches. That still does a lot of damage because there's no Intimidate drop yet. Gengar, there's one flinch, and it looks like the Tectonic Rage is going to go ahead and go through anyway, so that's going to be massive damage right there on that Tyranitar, even the KO.
Yeah, I mean, it should definitely be the KO.
Yeah,
Gengar not getting... if Gengar had not gotten flinched, I think that Icy Wind would have landed on the Landorus and been really huge. Flinch still happens, makes this a little bit closer, but really going to be hard for Gavin to come back. It's going to need a lot of Rock Slide flinches.
Yeah, and it looks like that's going to be the KO right there. And, of course, you know, we always joke about this, but it is true. If there's a Landorus that's faster on the other side, there's a way that you could possibly win. You know, hitting one Icy Wind would be very nice if you're on Alberto's side, just to kind of put himself in a lot better position.
If you hit one, it's over. And you've dropped that Landorus' speed down below Gengar. If you haven't KO'd, you now have that focus full power Icy Wind. I would expect it's just the KO if it lands. So you're looking to never allow Gengar to attack again. Maybe only let Landorus attack once or twice, and then start working your way through whatever's in the back that you haven't seen yet for Alberto.
Yeah, and even then, if it's at Incineroar, you can still go for some fake out support to try to, you know, kind of get some attacks in.
Gengar Protect plus switch to Incineroar is a nice way to just clean this up.
Gengar instead switches out here. Incineroar is going to go ahead and come in using its Intimidate ability to weaken the amount of damage as well as providing that fake out support. +1 Rock Slide from that Landorus on Alberto's side still should do a lot of damage, especially since it's a single target. Here comes the -1 Rock Slide from Gavin's Landorus, and it does not get any flinches, but Landorus dodges it anyway, so that's like a flinch.
Yeah, I mean, these are the kind of pieces Gavin needs, but it just seems so out of reach. You know, I think this game got so out of hand so quickly just because of how well played that very first turn was from Alberto. Getting that Sword Stance up, I don't think Gavin expected that. Wasn't playing himself into a situation where he could really deal with that once it happened. And then that Icy Wind that covered everything to allow Alberto that turn to Sword Stance.
Incineroar using Fake Out as Landorus over on Alberto's side gets to go for a Rock Slide, bringing it down to a little under 50%. The Weirdness and the Sandstorm do disappear from the battlefield. There is no more residual chip damage out on the field. Of course, the Fake Out did work because of the fact that Landorus is not a grounded Pokemon, so you know, that's one of the downsides of your Landorus. You don't get any boost from the terrains, but what can you do about that? It's flying.
Yeah, you're going to take the Earthquake immunity and be happy about it, I guess. Yeah, I mean, Landorus is just going to keep Rock Sliding. Eventually, we should see Alberto land a couple more attacks and get through this.
Possibly. You never know.
Gavin, I'm sure he's still hoping.
Incineroar is going to switch out. Gengar is going to come back in. It is going to go ahead and take another Rock Slide here. Gengar should be able to hang on. Landorus also hangs on as well. Another Rock Slide might not get the KO. Landorus flinches right there, so that's another big flinch. And Well, the thing is, Incineroar can come right back in and go for a fake out, but Landers has to be able to hit its rock slide. So if you're Alberto, you kind of want to get yourself in a position where Incineroar and something that can for sure hit that Landers comes in at the same time.
100% accurate attack paired next to fake out, or you can just keep intimidating this Landers.
Well, at that point, there's still always that chance for a critical hit. So, really, you want to get yourself in a position where two Pokemon, 100% accurate, and one of those Pokemon is going to go for a fake out. That's your ideal position, but you take what you can get here as Landers goes for a rock slide again. That is going to connect on both Gengar and Landers. Is Gengar going to be able to move? Is it going to be able to connect? Gengar flinches and can't move. Landers does go for a rock slide over on Alberto's side. It is going to hit that Landers, and that actually gets a KO from that point. So there you go. Alberto Lara takes game 2. There were some chances there, right?
Yeah, Gavin hung on a lot longer than I expected and got a few misses, a couple flinches, but it was just too much. It was 4v1 versus that Landers.
Yeah, and that was just, again, like you mentioned, it was such well-played positioning in turn 1. Gavin tried to reposition himself to try to take, Tectonic Rage right off the bat, but Alberto said, you're not going to let me get that Tyranitar just like that. I'm not going to fall for it. I'm going to go ahead and set up instead.
Yeah, and even if Tectonic Rage has been had come out, because it was Amoonguss that was forced to switch in and not Landers because of that Icy Wind coming out, Icy Wind plus Tectonic Rage, unintimidated, probably is just the KO on Amoonguss. So even that would just be Amoonguss lost.
Yeah.
It was just a really strong first turn for Alberto despite having Gengar up against Tyranitar.
Yeah, and, Gengar did provide a lot of support. Those Icy Winds were really clutch. The thing with Icy Wind is that it's so hard to switch into because if you switch something in, it's just going to get a speed drop, and then you're just going to be at a disadvantage unless Trick Room's up.
Especially when it's from a Pokemon with pretty reasonable special attack, like Mega Gengar. You aren't just looking at it for that speed drop. You're also worrying about it as damage even against something like Amoonguss.
Yeah, and even then you can't even switch because of the Shadow Tag. So if you try to switch in the first one, that's your opportunity to speed drop something that comes right back in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that was well played by Alberto Lara. He moves on to 2-0. Gavin Michaels drops to 1-1. I forgot who the smart money. I believe Kimo had the smart money on Alberto Lara.
And I had mine on Gavin.
Oh no! Oh darn, Len.
That's all right. I think he can come back.
I mean, Gavin's a strong player. He's one of the best.
We'll hopefully see him back and find out what this Rotom Heat does later on.
Yeah. But again, well played set from both Alberto and Gavin. Gavin hung in there. You always play to your outs. Even if it's Rock Slide, even if it's Rock Slide misses, even if it's flinching other people.
You just keep clicking buttons until you know you can't win.
Even then, sometimes you just keep trying, right? I mean, there's always, sometimes there's always an out.
Well, that's what I mean. Once you know that there's once the outs are gone, once hope is lost.
Yeah. But hopefully, hope is never lost, right? I'm just saying, Len. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, but when we come back, more here from the 2018 Portland Regional Championships. Welcome back, everybody, to the 2018 Portland Regional Championships. My name is Dweeha. Joining me is the winner of Round 2. You have so many championship points. I don't even know what rank you are anymore. Like third, I believe.
Yeah, I'm
third. Third in North America or the world?
North America. Yeah.
Anyways, I'm joined by Alberto Lara, one of the best players in the world right now. Congratulations on your Round 2 win.
Thank you.
Give us a little rundown about what you thought about when you first saw that you're matched up with Gavin. What were your thoughts in team preview and just your thoughts in general?
So obviously Gavin's from SoCal. I'm from SoCal. We've played each other a decent amount of times. This is probably the 5th or 6th time. So obviously he's a good player, I know.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, then, well, whoever loses, at least one of us will have good resistance from here on out. And then when I already kind of knew his team because he brought a similar team to Costa Mesa. I'm not sure if he made changes from it, but it was just basically the standard team except Rotom Heat over Zapdos. So I'm pretty comfortable in that matchup because, I mean, it's one of the most common archetypes, so I've played a lot against it. So I kind of know what to do.
Yeah, and, your team is actually a lot different than the team that you brought to both Costa Mesa and the Oceania International Championships, which, congratulations on your strong finishes down under, I guess. But, was it hard to adjust to a team like your Celesteela Gothitelle team versus this team?
No, not really. This team has been in the works for, I would say, a month and a half. But I was saving it for a while. Like, I wanted to use it for kind of a big tournament like Brazil. But then Incineroar came out. Incineroar came out, and then that basically makes my Oceania team basically useless. Like, the team gets destroyed by Incineroar. If you guys watched the stream in Costa Mesa and I played against Rogov, he had Incineroar without Intimidate, and it just gave me so much trouble anyway.
Right.
And now that it's number 1 or 2 in usage, now that it has Intimidate, that team just can't consistently beat Incineroar. So basically, I was like forced to get a new team because that team was not going to do well this weekend if I used it.
Yeah, and you know this team has paid off. You
Yeah.
have your own Incineroar as well with
Yeah.
Intimidate. You know,
Yeah.
if it's one of the strongest Pokemon, why not use it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, I don't want you to reveal too much about your team. You know, obviously you have your own tricks and stuff like that, but you know the Gengar and the Landorus, that's such
Yeah.
a strong combo.
It is.
and
It's amazing.
It's such a strong pin. I mean, what was your thought process behind those two? Even though Gengar doesn't even have Levitate anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Swords Dance Lando is pretty underused right now. I think it's really, really good. So I was just kind of like pair it with something that can really help it out, which is Gengar with Icy Wind and with Shadow Tag. And if you set up the correct position, you just kind of can run over a team. So not only that, they can only usually stop. So game 2, as you saw, I led Landorus Gengar against Gavin, and he led Lele Tyranitar. There's almost no chance he just double attacks into my Pokemon. He's going to usually try and protect one and try and attack another because he can't risk me just attacking, like Sludge Bombing and then Tectonic Raging or something. So he just can't risk that. So basically, I can easily call that. Like, even if he Psychic or Psychic Z's that turn, he gets one knockout, but I either get the Icy Wind off, which lets my Tapu Fini set up easy, or I get the Swords Dance off, and now he's, like, really threatened by my Landorus. So at best, he can usually stop one because he's not going to double attack. And at worst, well, not at worst because, like I said, he's not going to double attack.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it's a pretty safe play overall.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It paid off. I mean, from that point on, once you set up, the game was so much in your
Yeah.
favor. Obviously, you know, the last parts of it with the flinching and stuff like that.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the
Well,
Landers.
actually, yeah, we were just talking throughout the game. I wasn't actually paying attention to the last 4 or 5 turns. We were just talking about it because I already knew that he basically couldn't win. He would need maybe like 25 flinches in a row, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
You never know. I mean,
Yeah.
this is Pokemon, right?
Yeah, I guess
you
that's
never
true.
know. But, you know, congratulations on round 2. I'm going to go
Thank
ahead and
you.
let you relax. Thank you for the words. Any other shout-outs?
No, just here
Nice.
trying to do well.
Yeah, hey, best of luck, man.
Thank you, Dewey.
Congratulations. Good luck. We'll be right back with more action from the 2018 Portland Regional Championships.